Hello everyone, Autumn here. You might notice that my location looks a little bit different than other interviews have before, and that's because I'm actually abroad in Italy right now. I know, crazy. So right now it's about 10 o'clock at night. I am very excited to have my late night chat with my guest today. I'm so excited. Let's get started. Hello! Welcome to our arts interview. I have my lovely guest here. Will you please introduce yourself for us?
Hi, my name is Arianna Matthews. I'm from Stigler, Oklahoma, and I am the reigning Royal International Miss Teen.
Yes, you are, and a slay. You've been such a slay this year. Congratulations on your title, and I'm sure that it's getting, I don't know, how do you feel? How do you feel about your year?
It's been actually insane so far. Like insane in the best way. Insane as in like I could not believe when I had won that it was me that they had said. And it was just this whirlwind of me. Like I'm so grateful and very just excited for the rest of the year because we've already had so many fun trips and we have another one planned and then internationals in July, which I'm so excited for because I've never really been on that side of it, at least in a long time. So it'll be very fun to meet the delegates. And I'm sad it's bittersweet that internationals is a lot closer than I would love it to be, but I'm so excited to be there. Yeah.
Well, sick. I completely understand that feeling, and I'm so excited for you. I'm so glad that you've had this opportunity throughout the year to kind of grow. And obviously, your reign is not up, so the work is not over, but I'm just so excited that you got such a blessing. And thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate that as well. Now, with that being said, let's get started. We're going to talk a little bit about the arts and why you're passionate about the arts, as well as your personal passion outside of the arts. You ready? Let's do it. All right. Now, tell me about some of the art forms in your life.
So currently, I am a sophomore at the University of Oklahoma School of Drama. I am involved in a show right now called Life is a Dream. We open very soon, so I'm very excited to have people come in and watch and see the hard work that we've put in. I love being a part of the improv group. We meet every Monday and it's so much fun because that was something I was so scared to do. And once I started doing it, I realized it was so much fun. So just being involved in acting classes, improv. That's how I try to stay in the arts as much as possible.
I love that so much. Now, how did your love of performance, your love of acting really start? When did it start?
I always loved to be on stage. I was always trying to sing at church or if there were talent shows or any opportunity. When I was in middle school, my friends would have singing groups and we'd go and sing songs at recess. We were just always singing. And then there was an opportunity for me to be in a little skit when I was younger. And that's when I realized that I love to act and I was very dramatic in that show. And I was like, yes, I love being dramatic. And then I got to high school and I started to compete in speech competitions and I loved those. Literally missed them so much. I would go back and do them in a heartbeat if I could. And that's kind of where I was like, this is what I want to do. I had no idea what else I would do if I wasn't doing acting. So honestly, it just kind of has always been on that path. And then high school was like, oh yeah, that's what I'm doing.
That's phenomenal. And I can relate very strongly to that. We have a lot in common in the acting realm, so I'm very excited about that. Now, what is your favorite aspect of performing? What about it really made you say, yes, this is what I want forever? What kind of rush do you feel?
I think it's the just the thought of like entertaining other people and them being feeling emotion, whether they're sad or they're happy or they're confused, just like inflicting emotion onto people that makes them like question. Like I was in a show last spring that was it was fairly like very sad, very not as happy as a lot of other shows are, and it was one that was really would leave people thinking and leave them wondering like what in the world. And that's just kind of what art is about, leaving people with questions or making them think about stuff they wouldn't before. And I love that. I love being a part of that, being a part of something that people are watching and enjoying.
That's fantastic. And I completely agree. I think art is a huge collaborative experience between the viewer and the creator. And ultimately, the two are the same. And it's just a matter of building that bridge through creation. So I think that's beautiful. I think you put that very well.
Yes.
Now, with that being said, what do you think your opportunities in performance, whether it has been outright theater or just singing on your own or the improv troupe that you mentioned, what do you think it's taught you so far?
A lot of facing my fears and doing what makes me nervous because in class, maybe I would pick a scene that, oh, this is easy. I could do this. But I really started to realize I have to do stuff that scares me. I have to do stuff that's going to challenge me or else I'm not going to grow. So with improv, with doing hard scenes, all of them are just pushing me to do things. And not even just acting, like it'll teach me in the real world. If I'm not being challenged, I'm going to stay the exact same place. So that's why I've tried to just reach out, do as much as I can, and be scared as much as I can because that leads for room to improve.
Girl, I was literally talking to a couple of my friends about this today. So it's really convenient that you bring this up. Yeah, I think that we're all trying to learn that. So, Slay, I'm super proud of you. You keep going, you keep growing.
Took me a
Yeah,
long time to do that. Like just hit me that I have to do hard things or I'm not gonna learn.
which is ironically a really difficult lesson to learn, which is
So
hilarious.
hard. Yeah,
But as long as you keep pushing, you're doing great.
I'm trying. I'm trying. After this semester, I'm halfway through college and it feels insane because freshman year, Ari, I was like, what if I don't learn anything? What if I don't grow? Like, what if I stay the same? But I'm just proud that so far, halfway through, I have grown a little bit and
Yeah.
I'm hoping it keeps going.
Yes, and I promise it completely will. Like, granted, I'm a senior. I didn't see a whole lot of true like film opportunities in my college until junior year. So I'm super stoked that you're getting to see this growth now because it means that ultimately the growth you see later will be that much more ginormous and fruitful. Heck yeah. Now, with that as well, like, well, not with that, but is there a particular artist or person in your life, either way, who's really been able to help motivate, encourage, and inspire you to continue this art?
Honestly, it's a lot of, well, first semester freshman year, I had an incredible teacher and he very much was like, why do you doubt yourself? You need to believe that you are capable of doing this. And he very much instilled in me the courage, like I belonged here and I deserve to be here just as much as the people who had been in 1,500 other shows or may have had so much more training than me. Cause I've come from a very, very small town, didn't have all those opportunities. And he was like, that's okay. Doesn't mean you're way less than these people. Or I had a teacher the other day, he came in and he talked to all of us in our show and he was like, start telling yourself that you are enough, that you are capable of being in this show. And then like my mother, if I ever have doubts, she'll tell me you are right where you're supposed to be. Like it's just collaborative of people in my life that I know care about me that tell me that I do deserve to be here. And that's really what keeps me going is like if I hear it, I can learn it and put it in myself. I can do this. I am enough to do this. And it's all just helps me feel better about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful, especially because I need that too. I need that all the time, especially being here in a brand new environment where I didn't know anybody coming in. I didn't realize how hard it would be to not have like that collaborative community right there with me. But that's you said it so well. I think we all need those pushes, and I'm really glad that you've had a system that has continued to tell you and remind you how talented you are and how deserving you are of where you are.
Thank you. Yes. It's sometimes it's also choosing to see and listen to them versus hearing it and disregarding it. You have to sometimes come to the point where I'm like, okay, listen to them, let it sink in. Because sometimes I wouldn't listen. So
Yeah.
it's definitely something that people have to like actively choose to believe.
Yeah. Well, moving right along, I derailed just a
You're
little
a
bit.
little thing that gets you
Yeah,
there.
easy peasy.
It's okay.
But moving right along, what do you think that your life would be like without the arts?
Ooh, see, it's so crazy to even think about that because whenever I applied for the OU drama, I was like, if I don't get in, what do I do? I literally had no clue. I was very involved in yearbook when I was in high school. I was an editor. And so I was thinking, oh, I'll do journalism, but that's still a form of art. So like my backup plan is still art. So in some form of another, I always just wanted to do. If I didn't do journalism or like writing, I always wanted to do like a news broadcaster. So it's very hard to even imagine not having art in some form because it is so heavily in my life and in my personality. And I just think I would be a lot more sad without it. I just think I wouldn't know what to do with myself because so much of my time is dedicated toward art.
Yeah. As someone whose backup was also just more art, I completely understand that. Now, obviously, we know that our lives would be on the struggle bus without the arts. What do you think the world at large would lose without the arts?
Yeah, I think honestly, I feel like in some way or another, every person benefits from the arts, whether they just want to go watch a movie or they want to go watch a show, or just like art is all around us in so many ways. And museums, you're just always surrounded by it. And I feel like if you took that away, things would just be so much more dull. And maybe that's just bias coming from an artistic lover, but I think the world would very much not benefit from not having art.
I agree. I agree, I agree, I agree. Not only would we have hardly anything to do, anything of
Right.
true like richness and value, personally, bias,
No, I
but
know. I'm just biased, but that's what I think. Right.
yes. Well, and also like on top of that, like you touched on, there would be so many other things that would trickle down. Like there are artists who have to create the buildings that we live in, work in, breathe in.
True.
There are people, engineers who double as artists because they're essentially one and the same, who design these shelving units that hold all of people's work.
Yeah.
There was someone who
That's
had to design the coffee mug, like
and
cars.
art. What happens then? No
Exactly.
God.
No art, no life, no
Right.
ecosystem.
I'm in a class right now and it's called Gods and Heroes in Art and it's
Yeah.
just Greek mythology stories and he tells the stories and then we look at art and it's all of these beautiful paintings or sculptures and it's without these paintings and sculptures how maybe we wouldn't hear these stories or maybe we wouldn't know or get a depiction and it's there's just so much involved in art
Yeah.
that I feel like we can't afford to lose it.
Well, especially, well, I mean, you were over here last spring, last summer.
Yeah, I studied abroad
Yeah.
this summer. Oh,
So,
and it was beautiful. Oh, that was so beautiful.
well, and so much of Italy's artwork ties directly to their history. It's a statement about where they were as a people, as individual city-states, and as a fully functioning unit eventually. So art tells the story of people, which is
Yes.
crazy, and I think is often glossed over as something that is needless, when in reality, we are natural creators.
Yes, that is such a good point. Like I was just talking about the Greek mythology, but like also Italy, Rome, and every single museum we went to was just history and history and history. And our guide, our teacher, we just learned so much
Mhm.
about the history, looking at these pictures and hearing the stories behind them.
Yeah,
And it's so just so much information that I would never know had I not seen those paintings, had I not been there to experience that.
it's just a totally different level of understanding.
Mhm.
Wild.
Absolutely. It's crazy.
Well, sick. Okay. Well, thank you for going on that tangent with me.
I love tangents.
Good, me too. Now let's move on to another tangent. Um, I want to talk about you. I want to talk about your personal passion and what cause maybe stands close to your heart.
So I have a platform called the Do Good Project. I was inspired because my sorority is Delta Gamma and our motto is do good. Yes, that's Gamma. And when preparing for internationals last year, I had a platform that was related to Tourette syndrome, but I wasn't for sure what all I could do with that, how I could get others involved with that as well. So I started the Do Good Project, which kind of has two sides. It's one side is like doing good, and one side is never suppressing things about yourself. Because with Tourette syndrome, I would always suppress my tics, I would hide them, and consequently, it would make them worse. It would make me more stressed. So with my platform, I wanted to not only promote others to share how they do good, but also how they are themselves and what they enjoy. Because I want to show how easy it is to do good, because it can be big things. It can be volunteering or spending time at this place or donating to this, but it can also be small things like just making other people feel good and making other people brightening their days. Those are ways you could do good. So that's what I use my page for, is just promoting other people. I promote what I do and just showing how many different ways it is, how many different ways you can do good.
That's beautiful and wonderful. Will you share with me a couple of the ways that you think other people watching can support your initiative, participate in doing good, and therefore being the good in the world?
So in high school, we actually had a do good week, unrelated to my project, but I kind of drew inspiration for that from that also. And I touched over that when I went to internationals about, we did different things like we had rocks that had kind words on them and we passed them out to people. And so there's the projects, the like the 918 rocks. People will write down cute little quotes and they'll give them out. I know one of my friends is doing something called kindness coins, where she leaves coins that have kind little messages on them. There's so many different things. Like you can volunteer at food pantries. There's one 30 minutes away from me. There's drives. There's a food pantry on campus. Like if I don't want to drive, there's one on campus.
Yeah.
There are donation centers. Our World International Miss, we're doing a thing called Global Give Back. So we're collecting school supplies, art stuff, and we're donating them globally all around the world. And like that's one thing that I did, is I went with Team Oklahoma, which Autumn was a part of, and we donated school supplies. And I feel like also small things, small things, and like what you can do for your friends if you know they're having a bad day, buy them a coffee or write them a little note. I feel like those things might get looked over as good things too, but sometimes they're the things that I might need the most, are the little small things, and others as well.
No, completely. I've said this 3 times, but I've especially learned that being here, some days I just need a hug. I just need a hug some days. And I think it's really wonderful the ways that you've been able to help encourage and inspire people to do those little things. I think it makes a big difference. So thank you.
Thank you. That's the goal. Thank you.
Well, and you're so welcome. And I actually have potentially I have 2 more questions. I have 2 more questions.
Okay.
With your title, what has been your favorite part about being a Royal International Miss title holder?
I went into internationals week last year wanting to be the girl that if I won, people would be happy for me, because you see a lot of girls that aren't kind, are very much closed off, or they're snooty, or sometimes they're snooty. That's like the pageant stereotype. And I wanted to show that if if I happen to win, I wanted to still be friends with everyone, and I wanted to be someone that people were like, okay, she wasn't mean. She wasn't a bad person all pageant week. And like that was my goal. Win or not win, I wanted people to feel like I was there to be their friend and to be their, not competing against them, but with them. So that's one thing I've really strived to do, is because we've already got the teen delegates, and I also want them to know that as well, is, and I want to be a role model for them, and I'm just trying my best to be showing them that a pageant queen doesn't have to be this picture perfect pretty princess queen. And I definitely just, that's why I try with my do good project, I'm involving them with it too, and I'm just trying to show like all the delegates ways you can do good and be more than just the a model. You don't have to just be a model to be in pageantry. So like that's my goal, and that's what I'm hoping I'm doing. And like if I can completely do that successfully by the end of the year, I'm calling that my success, my successful favorite moment.
I think that would be a beautiful success. And quite frankly, I think you're so far achieving it beautifully and gracefully. So phenomenal job. I'm really proud of you and I'm really excited for you. You're so welcome. Okay, last question. How has this program helped you grow so far?
Oh, sorry, you froze. I'm sorry.
You're totally fine. You froze too. Internet connection unstable. What? It's not like I'm across the ocean or anything. Easy peasy. How has this program helped you grow so far?
Definitely like I competed before the year I had won. I had also competed the year before, and I had one friend from Oklahoma, and I stuck with her the entire week because I was just kind of too scared to talk to anyone else. And so going back to internationals, I was like, I'm not going to be that girl that sticks with one person, doesn't talk to anybody. I wanted to really grow in my abilities to feel comfortable around other people and in my own skin and comfortable with myself, to know that I have the ability to talk to other people. I wanted to really grow in my confidence in myself, that I can talk to these people, meet new friends, meet new people, and just grow. I used to be very much too scared to talk to people. So RIM really helped me open up to show like I'm on that stage to be able to do all of that and more.
A slay. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.